I'm gonna just say something real quick. Yo, I was watching a bunch of sitcoms over the weekend. A lot of them are like classic sitcoms, like classics. Name a few. You have like All in the Family, Mary Tyler Moore, Happy Days, Family Matters, Step by Step. Just name a few. And I'm just gonna say, a lot of these shows that stayed on for like 8, 9, 10, 11 years, y'all could have wrapped all that up at 7. And let me explain why. I binge watched all of these shows, and I'm kind of like, y'all dropped the ball so many times where y'all fucked up. But I guess as us viewers, either we were just excited to see the show was still on, or because it was our favorite show, or the network execs were like, hey, this show's winning the time slot. Boom, boom, boom. It's the number one show. It's in the top 10. We're pulling in awesome ratings. Da, 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 da. Let's keep this going. Y'all could have cut that shit out. But meanwhile, when there's a show that comes on now, y'all barely give it 6, 7 episodes. And y'all like, no. And it's gone. Like, it's gone. And it's gone. So, one show I'm going to start off with is Happy Days. It's one of my favorite shows. I've watched that show growing up, or like from a kid, like, and my teenagers. Like, it was one of my go-to shows outside of Lucy. But we ain't gonna talk about Lucy because Lucy ain't do nothing wrong. Happy Days did. Okay, so first of all, we're not gonna talk about Chuck Cunningham. Chuck Cunningham was the oldest son. Because remember, Marion and Howard, they had 3 kids. They had Chuck, Joni, and Richie. Not in that order. So Chuck disappears. He disappears. All right. So now the focus is Richie and Joni. So we watch them grow up. We see their friends or whatever. First of all, Richie was in high school for like 6 years. Y'all already messed up with that. We was like, oh my gosh, when is he gonna graduate? Like, oh my god. We look back at the repeats. Like, when is this dude gonna graduate? We get to see Joni grow up. She's turned into a teenager. She is about to start dating boys. So we got to see that. We get to see, what the daughter's going to be doing. You know what I mean? Richie, Ralph, and Potsy, they graduate, go to the army, go to college or whatever. So now the focus is Joni and Chachi. They're in high school. They start dating. They hook up. They go to college. Now, Richie has a baby, and Richie gets married. The parents are good. Fonzie is still like that moral center that, he is like, he's the superhero that saves the day in the show. Right? Y'all could have worked that his relationship or something, or he met someone and this, that. Y'all could have tied that up. Right? Y'all could have tied all of that into maybe season 8. Or even 9 even. Richie could have came back with the kid. Joni, y'all could have sped that shit up like, sitcoms do. Somebody has a baby. Next in 3 months, the new season, the baby's like 8, 9 years old. Y'all could have sped this all up. Married off Richie and Joni and Chachi. Then gave them the spin-off, wrapped up Happy Days. Instead, y'all bring them back. Joni and Chachi gets canceled. I guess because y'all still doing these banging ass ratings. But it just got to a point where it was like, that season 10 was dry as hell. I mean, y'all, Jenny Piccolo, y'all had the girl from Wings on there, and y'all, Roger. It was like, these wasn't the Cunningham kids. And then it was like Marion and Howard, they were like, no. So y'all should have wrapped that up around the 9th season. Not gonna lie, that end episode when they got married, and then even the episode when Richie came back and he punched Fonzie in the face and he went up to be a writer and this, that, and the other, like, that was dope as fuck. But all that could have been tied in back then. You get me? So, I'm sorry to say, but maybe around 83, 82, 83, that could have wrapped. I'm just saying. But I'm glad we got, like I said, I'm glad we got to see it. But when you think about it, it could have just wrapped. I'm just saying we could have, looking back, I'm not hating or anything. Because I'm glad we got to see all this. You know what I mean? But y'all could just tie that up. Speaking of Happy Days, I'm gonna jump into Laverne and Shirley. Okay, now dope ass show. We got to see them too, act up, meet guys, get into all kinds of shenanigans. We meet Lenny and Squiggy. You got her dad and then the stepmom and whatnot. Shirley is trying. They get into a bunch of bullshit. They work at the beer place and then they go okay. I think where they messed up, because I'm about to say they moved to California. I think that's where they messed up. Oh no, they messed up. I think like Milwaukee was the thing, but I guess a lot of sitcoms like at that time were like going to California, going to Hawaii, going this, doing that. But I'm saying y'all were focused in the 50s and 60s. Fuck y'all doing? No, we want all the shit. Like we want the Supremes. We want to hear the Beatles. We want to hear what y'all were doing back then. And then we go back to Happy Days too. Y'all fucked up with the hair. Y'all started rocking 70s and early 80s hair. Come on. Meanwhile, that 70s show that came out years later actually looks like the 70s. But with Laverne and Shirley, I don't know. Oh my God. And then when Shirley got pregnant in real life and decided to leave the show, y'all wanted to keep that going. No. And you should just call it Laverne. Or Laverne and Company. Years later, like with the whole issue with the Hogan family, when Valerie Harper got fired, you know what I mean? They changed it to the Hogan family. Like, y'all could have did something like that. Like, it could have been Laverne and Friends or something. You can't have Laverne without Shirley. First of all, and then, like, I think Lenny or Squiggy, they were in and out. So it was kind of like, yeah, I messed up. I ain't really like that. Okay, now, don't hate me for this one. Okay, if you do, but it's the truth though. We have the Jeffersons. 11 years of a hot mess. Like, the show was so good the first 6 seasons, and then I want to say maybe after Lionel and Jenny had the baby. I don't know. A couple episodes were kind of cool. I remember this one episode they had a little girl named Abby, and she would repeat whatever George said, and she got in trouble. And it was like a racial thing. She was repeating what he said, but teach her not to say that because you can't say that. And they had a great handful of important episodes about racism and socialism and stuff like that. But then, at one point, they were just getting goofy. I mean, and then, come on. That last season, Weezy and them damn track suits, they started wearing them velour suits, and I don't know. It got to a point where it just got so goofy when they was doing a bunch of stuff, getting into all. First of all, they old, and they was getting into a bunch of nonsense. Then they try to make it serious again, but then I think it was too late because I think their ratings were slipping. Like when Lionel and Jenny were getting a divorce. Like, that's the stuff we wanted to see. It's the Jeffersons. We didn't want to see y'all carrying on with the Wilsons getting locked out of places and doing that. No, come on. So y'all went from being social about everything, teaching us stuff about what's going on in the world, because a lot of the Norman Lear shows were about that. We learned a lot. And all of a sudden, y'all went goofy on us. You got silly. Florence left. She goes to do a spin-off that show Checking In. She comes back in like a couple of episodes. Like, I mean, y'all tried to keep things good. by. Y'all had Sister Sledge, Gladys Knight, Andre Crouch. Y'all had performers up there because that's what apparently all sitcoms started doing, that bringing like singers and stuff like that. But it was kind of like, nah, y'all could have tied that up. Y'all didn't even get to fucking tie nothing up. You see, and that's right there. When you let a show overrun its course, they didn't get no finale. Nothing. They didn't get to say goodbye. Jefferson's got canceled in '85. A few months later, Florence, Marla Gibbs on 227. Sherman's on Amen the following year. But they didn't piece us out. And they were on CBS for 11 years and they was on the top. They were still like in the top 10, top 20. What were y'all doing? And this is no shade to the actors, but the writers, y'all, whoa. Y'all just bugged out. You messed up. And the network, you messed up. Greed. You greedy. Greediness. No. You gotta stop that. Now I'm going to talk about a later sitcom. We're going to talk about Family Matters. Y'all done sent that girl to her room. Y'all done sent Judy to her room. She done got into whatever bullshit she done got into. Thank God she's alright, you know what I mean? Proud of that girl. I will say, I'm proud of her. She got into little things, but she got her life in order. She's doing great. Give her props. Shout out to Jamie Foxxworth, yo. For real. Because she is bouncing back, and I hope she does make a career comeback because she's very talented and is a very smart young lady. But anyway, man, let's talk about her. Her character. First of all, Judy was cool. Judy was average. Judy got B's and C's. She wasn't an overachiever. She was just like, yo, girl, I'm gonna just fucking make it. I'm gonna just skate on by. Her costumes were the best when they did the Halloween episodes and this, that, and the other. She had a lot of hair. Well, I mean, she was a little cute little girl. And y'all do that to her. Another thing they did was right after Judy left, that season 5, where was Aunt Rachel? She was on a whole other sitcom with Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley called Getting By. Where was Richie's mother? Where's this boy's mom? Oh, she at work? She at work all the damn time that he got to be with Uncle Carl and Harriet. I will say I did like how they focused on Maxine and Waldo. Because first of all, I'm sorry, Maxine was cool. Oh my God, the other girl. It was another girl that used to hang with them, but her real name is Venus DeMilo Thomas. I don't know her character, but she started hanging out with them. She was cool. Laura Homegirls was cooler than Laura at one point. No shade to Laura, but the whole this and Steve and this that shit got old too. Then when this was the tip of the iceberg. Every week we had to find out what Urkel was going to be. Whether he was going to be Bruce Lee, was he going to shrink Carl? Was he going to be Stefan? Was he going to be this? Was he going to be that? You didn't need no gimmick. You were making stellar ratings. So, y'all writers, what were y'all doing? Because y'all thought we liked this shit? Eventually, we didn't like it anymore. So, it's kind of like, You know, y'all could have, I don't know. Maybe when the kids graduate high school, y'all could have just tied that up. Like, we didn't even need to see what would happen if Laura and Urkel would get married and the Disney World thing, and then y'all went to a whole nother network altogether. Like, I mean, y'all, that already. Love all of them. They're really talented, and I watched that show, you know what I mean? But the writers, y'all did that. Y'all messed up. Step by step, too. Let's stick on it. Let's stick on that whole TGIF shit. Y'all had a kid, bring in a baby, get rid of the other kid. Y'all moved to a whole nother network. I don't know. I don't think y'all should have added another damn child either. That's the kiss of death. Bringing a damn baby on a damn sitcom. The sitcom's over already. You bringing this damn kid, and then the kid, he morphs. The kid morphs into a fucking adult. Not an adult, but you know what I'm saying, like a toddler. And it's kind of like, the hell? Why y'all doing that? Stop it. No. And I just can't with them damn shows. Like, especially that one. Like, it was cool while it lasted, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm gonna talk about a show that lasted about 5 years, but I mean, y'all could have just stuck to the formula that this woman orchestrated. I feel like because they said she came up with the whole concept of like she had creative control. And y'all could have stuck to what Kate Jackson did with Charlie's Angels. The show lasted 5 years. That show already had a controversy in the first year when Farrah Fawcett left. So already that was big. So then they bring Cheryl Ladd to replace her, who was fucking great. But then at the end of season 3, Kate Jackson is like, I'm out. She was like, I've served my part, I've done my part, there's nothing more I can do with this role. Meanwhile, she was giving them problems or whatever, but that's how she is. She's a perfectionist. She's professional. She wants things done. Can't help that. She was the most, at that time, they said she was the talented one. So, come on. She's the one that acts. You know what I mean? That really can act. So, she leaves. And remember at the end of each episode, they will focus back to the office and then go back to the Townsend agency. And they have their little they have their little jokes. And Charlie be like, okay, good job, Angels, and blah, 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 blah. Then it got to a point, after that, she leaves or whatever. They wrap it up and they in the street or somewhere, and it doesn't end well. I didn't like the endings anymore. And that kind of messed up. Yeah, and then y'all didn't even give Shelley Hack a chance. Y'all want to talk about ratings, this, y'all could have, y'all didn't give her another chance. Y'all could have gave that girl 2 years. But then by then, we don't know what could happen because y'all got rid of her and then y'all brought in Tanya Roberts. And then, they had to strike. All the actors went on strike, so they had to piggyback from the season, so they had to catch up and make up stuff. Which I'm kind of not understanding that they had to make up ratings for. If your shit wasn't on, your shit wasn't on. That's it. So anyway, and their final season, they end up at the bottom of the ratings or whatever. And it's kind of y'all could have stuck to Kate's formula and ended in the office. It just got, because it became more of a drama and more of a cop show. You know what I mean? We had to know what was, these women were fucking up shit. You know what I mean? So it became less of that I don't know. I don't know. It just did. I don't know. I just didn't like it. Like after I'm gonna say like that's one of the main things that they just didn't end. They didn't end the episodes in the office. Like and then they was going to Hawaii and stuff like that. It was like okay. Well, I know that they said anytime it was bikinis and whatnot, the ratings went up. So that's what they did. I guess. I don't know. I ain't with it. Should I go to Three's Company? Because Three's Company kind of did something. I mean, now meanwhile, that whole show was great. From Chrissy Snow to her cousin, Jenna Lee Harrison. I'm like, wait, because she was tall, so I'm like, Jenna Lee Harrison, and then Priscilla Barnes. You know what I mean? So they were all great. The Ropers were great. Mr. Furley were great. I do feel like a lot of episodes that came on later happened maybe a few episodes back, seasons ago. Like for an example, I'm gonna do Charlie's Angels. Like when Kelly got shot in the end, like in season 5, she got shot in season 1. It's like you're doing the same thing all over again. You can't do that. You gotta come up with something different. Writers, I don't know. Now the dramas, you can do that with the 80s dramas and the 70s dramas like Dallas, Knox Landing, Dynasty. You can do that with all of them. It's a soap opera. It's a drama. They get kidnapped by aliens. They get abducted. They have a mysterious twin. A twin cousin that comes out of nowhere and does a bunch of crazy shit. Those are the things that dramas are supposed to have. Sitcoms, you can't do that. You gotta, make it, do your shit, get into your situation, and get out of it. Y'all was trying to do a whole bunch of foolishness. And right then and there, that's why, I don't know, it just didn't work. It worked, but when you look back at it, and we're sitting there like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So, we have those WTF moments. And that's what I just wanted to talk about. I had a lot of WTF moments watching these shows over the weekend, and I was just like, and this in general, and I wanted to talk about it. So if you can like and subscribe, that'd be great, because, I appreciate it, because you guys are cool. And I guess we will talk next time, alright? Peace. Tune in for part 2.